Shanti 10-12-23 Revised 23-02-1997 Madhuvan Abhyakt Bab Dada Om Shanti. Keep your companion with you. Be seated on the throne of a detached observer and remain happy. Today, Baba, the world benefactor, is happy to see the children from all over the world. Lines of love and cooperation are visible on the faces of all the children. Bab Dada is hearing the song My Baba emerging from the heart of each one. In response, Bab Dada says, "Oh my extremely dear and beloved children, each child is very dear and very much loved. Why? You are few out of multi-millions and the handful out of the few. That makes you beloved, does it not?" Bab Dada is happy to see the beloved children. He constantly sees the children dancing in happiness and wishes to see them dancing constantly. You do remain happy, but the Father wishes to see you in this state constantly. Do you remain constantly happy? Or does your happiness fluctuate? Is it that sometimes you have a lot of happiness and sometimes a little less and sometimes very little? Bab Dada also told you earlier that at a present you children have to serve the world in such a way that with your face, with your eyes, and with your few words, you are able to remove the sorrow of every soul and give them happiness. As soon as they see you, they should become happy. There is way you need to constantly have a happy face and be an immense happiness, because the happiness is sometimes mind is clearly revealed on the face. Even if wandering and distressed souls who is experiencing sorrow comes in front of you, even if he considers it impossible to be happy, as soon as he comes in front of you, your image, your attitude, and your vision should transform that soul. Today, people spend so much money in order to make their minds happy, and so many new facilities are created for their entertainment. Their facilitations are temporary, whereas you are making to spiritual endeavor for all time. So let your spiritual endeavor transform those souls. They may have distress when they come to you, but this should be singing praise, Wah Wah. When they leave, Wah, it is the wonder of the soul who belongs to God. From time to time, a soul becomes distressed in spite of their temporary facilities. At such times, your happiness will become their support, because you are the one who have the fortune of happiness. Do you have the fortune of happiness or not? You are not incomplete in this, are you? You are those who have to fortunate of happiness. No other souls throughout the entire cycles have the fortune of happiness that you have. Is there anyone else? You have to give others the experience of such great intoxications through your face and your behavior. Are you able to do this? Or are you already doing this? If you do not experience happiness in Brahmin life, what have you achieved by becoming a Brahmin? Brahmin life means a life of happiness. Sometimes Bab Dada sees that the face of some children are slightly, and what happens then? All of you know very well what happens, and this is why you are laughing seeing such faces. Bap Dada feels mercy and is also little amazed. A children's and yet they are unhappy. Is this possible? It is not. To be unhappy means to be servant of Maya. However, you are master of conquer of Maya. What is Maya compared to you? Is it not even an ant? And it is a dead ant from a distance. It seems to be alive, but it is in fact of dead. Your simple need of her power of distance from distance, just as you have the knowledge of Father in great details. In the same way, you must imbibe the knowledge of various forms of Maya and recognize her. Maya creates fear in you, just like parents create fear in their children in order to make them fearless. They do not do anything but purposely create fear to make them fearless. In the same way, Maya also adopts various forms to make you belong to her. When Maya adopts any of her various forms, you also need to become those with various forms and recognize her. What games do you play when you are not able to recognize her? You start battling and think, oh dear, Maya has come. Then, when you battle, your mind and your intellect become tired. Out of tiredness, what do you then say? Maya is powerful. It is not Maya, but what is it? It is nothing, but your weakness become different from Maya. Bap Dada constantly wishes to see every child having the intoxications of the fortune of happiness, of constantly having a happy faces, and of remaining happy with nourishment of happiness and full of treasure of happiness. What does one need in life? Nourishment and treasures. What else does one need? Therefore, do you have the nourishment of happiness, or does the stock of your treasure of finish? Your treasure of happiness are limitless. They are limitless. They are not. The more you spend, the more they increase. Even if you do not make any other effort, simply keep this aim. No matter what happens, whether it is through the state of my own mind, through the other souls, or through the elements of atmosphere, I must not let go of my happiness. This effort is easy. Is it not? Or does your happiness slip away? Is it easy, or is it sometimes difficult? Keep these determinations and forget everything else. Simply make this one aspect firm. I have to remain happy. What will the different situations seem like then? Just a game. Constantly remain seated on the seat of detached observer when watching your own game. Even if someone insults you or tries to upset you and bring you down from your self-respect of detached observer, you should not come down from your throne of a detached observer. Your happiness reduces when you do come down. Bap Dada also told you 2 words earlier: companion and detached observer. When Bap Dada is with you, your stage of detached observer is very strong. All of you say that Bap Dada is with you. Bap Dada is with you. However, you also have some influence of Maya over you when you say that Bap Dada is with you. Bap Dada is with you, but you do not use his companionship at a time of need. You put him aside at the time. When someone is with you, or when task comes up, when a situation arises, you do not remember the company you have, but you become engrossed in the situations. You believe that you have this company and you also experience it. Would you any of say that you do not have this company? No. of you would say. All of you says, Baba is with me. None of you say, Baba is with you. Each of you say, Baba is with me. Baba is my companion. He is he not? Do you say this is your mind or with your lips? Do you say this is in your mind? Bab Dada continues to see the games. Bab Dada is sitting with you and yet you become so engrossed in your own situation, trying to face it, that you don't even realize who is with you. So what does Baba do then? From a being the companion, Bab Dada become the observer and observer your game. Do not do this anymore. Since you call him your companion, fulfill the responsibility of companion. Why do you move away from him? The Father does not like that. The Father has the pure desire that each of you children become, and truly a self-sovereign and thereby one who has a right to world sovereignty. Are all of you part of the subject? You do not wish to become subject, do you? You are kings, are you not? You are the emperor, the world king. You are those who create subject, not those who become the subject. You are those who will become king, are you not? You are those who will become king and who will create subject. So where does a king sit? He sits on a throne, does he not? When someone has the intoxication of being a king, he remains seated on the throne in a practical way. So do not get off your thrones of a detached observer. When you make report of something specific, you get tired. Today, you paid attention to your thoughts. Tomorrow you will pay attention to your words and your connection and relationship etc. You get tired doing this. Simply make this the one effort or not coming off your thrones of detached observer. Remain happy-hearted and seated on your thrones. If a king is looking very serious while seated on his throne, if he is seated on the throne and yet looking very angry and officials, would you like it? Would you say that one is not a king? So all of you are constantly seated on your thrones, are you not? Those kings sometimes sit on their thrones and sometimes they do not. But your thrones of detached observer is such that you can seated on your thrones while performing any task. You do not have to get off your thrones. You are seated on your thrones while sitting or standing and while having contact or relationship with others. Do you know how to remain seated on your thrones or not? Do you sleep off your thrones? A soul who seated on the thrones of observer can never become distressed because of some problem. The problem would remain under the thrones and you would be seated on the thrones. The problem would not be able to raise their heads in front of you. They would remain suppressed underneath. They would not trouble you. You press here on something. It finishes by itself at such a time. Bab Dada is amazed. You should not be amazed. You may be amazed at your own self, but do not be amazed at through others. Baba is amazed at what his children are doing. They are getting off their thrones. You are seated on your thrones now. Only when you instill the sanskar of being seated on your thrones, now will be able to sit on the world thrones. If you are not constantly seated on your thrones here, then there too, you will not able to sit on a throne all the time. That is, for the full period, you have to fill yourself with all these sanskar at this time. Whatever sanskar you have filled yourself with will work in a golden age. You have to fill yourself with sanskar of royalty at this time. Do not think that sometimes still remains, that destruction is not going to take place that soon. Do not think in this way because destruction will take place suddenly. It will not first ask you are ready. Everything will happen suddenly. How did all of you become Brahmins? You suddenly received the message, you saw an exhibition, you came into contact and relationship and you transformed yourselves. Did you think that you would become Brahmins on a particular date? Did you think this? You become Brahmin suddenly. So transformations will take place in suddenly. First of all, Maya makes you very careless if you think about it. Even the year 2000s that you had thoughts of almost here. You think, let me just take a little rest. First, Maya will spread her magic and make you careless in some aspect, whether it is service, yoga, dharana, or relationship or connections. You will think this happens all the time. This will continue to happen in this way. Maya will first try to make you careless. Then destruction will suddenly take place at that time. Do not then say that Babdada did not tell you that it would happen like this. This is why you are being warned in advance not to become careless in any aspect. You have to alert in the four subject. Even if something happens right now, stay alert. At that time, do not call out, Babdada, come. Come and fulfill your responsibility. Give me a little power. Baba will not give it the time. Accumulate it at this time. Whichever power you need to any extent, all of you have full permissions to take whatever you want. The treasure store in open. However much power you want, whichever power you want, take that one. That now, the teacher or principal would not help you at the time of exam. Baba is doubly pleased to see the dull foreigners. Why is this? Because double foreigners have to make doubles the efforts to transfer themselves. This is why when Babdada sees the double foreigners children, he is doubly pleased. Wah, my double foreigners children, double foreigners, raise your hands. Wow, it is very good. You may clap twice. Babdada continually hear and see news of service done abroad. As a result, zeal and enthusiasm for service is very good. It is just that you sometimes take the burden of service on yourselves. Do not carry these burdens. Give the burden to Father. This burden is nothing for the Father. Whereas by carrying the burden of service yourselves, you get tired. You do very good service and do not get tired when doing service. At that time, your face are very good. They are worth taking photograph. But some of you, not all of you, after doing that service, have tried faces. The father asks, why do you carry the burden? Is it that you like carrying the burden, or is it that you have created that habit? Do not carry the burden. You feel it to be a burden when the Father is not with you. When you think I am doing this, then that becomes a burden. If your Father is with you, it is His task and He is enabling you to do it. There will then be no burden. You will remain light. You will begin dance. When you dance very well. Look at the dancing of double foreigners. It is very good. They do not tire themselves out. They dance like an angel. When Indians dance, their feet become tired. Even their hands become tired. Foreigners dance very lightly. So in the same way, consider service to be a dance. Consider it to be a game. Do not get tired. Babdada does not like the photo of getting tired. There is a good zeal and enthusiasm of service, and Father also has the result that there is no very small percentage of coming into fluctuations over little things. The majority is fine, There is a small number that is sometimes seems to be fluctuating a little, but there is a big difference between the result at the beginning and the result now. This can be seen, can it not? You are now continuing to let go of your delicate natures. Bab Dada is pleased to see this result. Now, prepare the small mics. There are now small mics, and there are will then even big mics. Bab Dada remembered that in the beginning the foreigners teachers would used to say it was difficult to meet the VIPs, let alone for them to come. It was difficult even to meet them. Whereas it has now become easy because you have become VVIPs. And so, what are those VIPs in front of you? On the whole, the result of foreigners' land is good. The centers are also doing very well and continuing to expand in the Bharat. There are not so many hands, otherwise many centers would open. Those of each zone says that they do not have enough hands. In this year, do the service of creating your own hands. Do not ask for hands, create your own hands, and in fact donate them to be others and donate and performing charity. In the foreign lands, they have a very good methods. Whenever a create centers is open, the peoples there do their worldly job and also look after the centers. They do not have the problem of how the center will functions or who will look after it. You should not think, why should you do the worldly job? This is the means of your service. You are not doing worldly job, but you are doing that worldly job to become instrument to carry out a spiritual task. Wherever you go, you have the enthusiasm to open the center there. So while you have worldly job, do not think in this way. You are doing the worldly job for the sake of the spiritual task, and so you are surrendered. There are not be any worldly feelings. When there are spiritual feelings, you are surrendered with their doing a worldly job. It is not that you have to give up your worldly job and have a surrender ceremony. How else would have been expansions? This is why, wastely doing the worldly job, you become instrumental for this spiritual task. And so, for souls you who are living in the spiritual environment while doing a worldly job, not just double congratulations but multi-million congratulations to such souls. Simply do everything so as a trustee. Do not have the consciousness of I am doing so much work. Do not have this consciousness of I. Karan Karavan Har is inspiring me to do it. I am just an instrument and I am functioning with the support of the power. Today it is the turn of double foreigners. You also have lot of happiness on seeing on the double foreigners, do you not? So, are you of double foreigners very happy and cheerful? You may clap with your hands. Maya does not come to you in Madhuvan anymore, does it see? In second, you can become a completely bodiless as the Father. Put full stop in second and stabilize yourself in the bodiless stage in second. Acha, continue to practice this throughout the day again and again. To all those who are conquered Maya, conquered of matter, seated on throne of a detached observer and constantly experience the company of companion, to those who with determinations constantly make success the garlands around their necks, to those who remain constantly light, the same as a father, to those who use their might to liberate the world from the any weakness of sorrow and peacelessness for all times, to such master of ocean of happiness, ocean of joy, ocean of love, and master ocean of knowledge, to those who are equal to the Father, love, remembrance, and namaste. Blessing. May you have an embodiment of success and achieve success in the service you do with the power of two sons undecide. Details. Those who recognize the Father themselves, the time, the Brahmin family, and their elevated texts with the power of discernment, and then decide what they want to become and what they have to do, are those ones who constantly achieve success in the service they do, in the things they do, and in their forming connection and relationship with others. The basis of being an embodiment of success in doing service with mind, words, and deeds are the power of decisions decide. Slogan. Become filled with the light and might of this knowledge and yoga, and you will overcome any adverse situation in second. Om Shanti.